GunninGamerz here. I've got a great video for you today. As promised, I took out the B-17 Flying Fortress here recently during a Twitch live stream and had an epic first flight. Now we took this thing all the way from startup to taxiing, takeoff, doing a couple of touch and go landings, and then having an actual flight where we flew into California with this thing from Kingman, Arizona here. Now the only mishap that I have had in this thing to date yet was, and I'll show it in the video, was when I flipped over. Now I was in FS Cloud. I'm still not sure why it did that because my throttle was pretty low at the time and I really wasn't using brakes, but I'm thinking I might have had some interference or some jet wash from some other aircraft that were right behind me and it kind of blew me over, but it was almost like a little bit of a glitch. It's the only thing I've had bad happen is I've had some pretty epic flying so far. Now with this live stream being 4 hours, I'm obviously going to have to cut quite a bit of it, so I'll kind of make a nice highlight video out of it. And of course, I'll end up doing some actual recorded videos here in the very near future. This thing is an absolute blast to fly. Yes, it's an A2A plane. All the links are down below of everything I'm using in Flight Sim. And make sure that you're following us over there on Twitch so you can catch us when we're live streaming. Follow us on Twitter so you know when we go live. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel here. Hit that like button, and I hope you enjoy our first flight. Alright, so I'm going to be focusing hard on this thing. This takes a lot of my brain energy to focus on what I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to definitely be running this over here. The startup process is it's not hard, but there is a lot of steps to get all 4 of these engines running and get everything going properly. And that's what I'm kind of shooting for here today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and we checked our weights. That's done. Set the parking brake. I want to make sure okay, that is functioning. So our parking brake is on. Flaps and gear are neutral. That's a good one here. We got landing flaps and landing gear. Everything is set to neutral. I can tell just by that, but is that up now? Landing gear up. Okay, I got that right where I need it. And yeah, we got that right where we need it as well. It's a little bit different to get used to this setup. And then we've got check freedom of controls. We've got to remove control lock. Where did I forget that? Check freedom of controls. Oh, I'm already on page 2 for frick's sakes. Well, anyway, that doesn't actually say anything over there. Anyway, freedom of controls. We got to go down here. If you guys get in this aircraft and you're like, why can't I? There's nothing in this stick. And your rudders don't move very much. Not your udders. Your rudders. See how they're not really doing a whole lot there? Thank you so much, Total Staples, 21 months. Looks like you're having a hard time getting it up. We haven't even tried yet. Thank you so much, 21 months, classy feller. Thank you. Very classy. Do appreciate that. Let's get those sub buses rolling up there again for Total Staples. 21 months on the sub bus. Very special guy there. Wearing a very special helmet. But it's this right here. Your rudder and elevator lock. Now you get free range of that right there. And you want to check your rudder and your udders. We're good. Okay? Gotta have that thing off. This one over here is for your tail. It locks your tail wheel. Tail wheel lock is off. We want that off so that we can maneuver. But once we do takeoff, you want that to be on. Okay, so then the next thing we want to do is check each battery. Now our batteries are down here, and actually, okay, we're gonna flip that on like that. So how you check these now is you're gonna flip your inverter on, and once your inverter is on, now they all sound the same to me. That's what they do to tell you to check. We're going to flip all of our batteries on right there. We pretty much checked that. Looking right there, we're doing pretty good on our volts. Now the neat thing about this is this thing does have an APU, which is like a little generator. I didn't mean to do that, hitting buttons. The little generator in the back of the aircraft, alternative power unit, I believe what that stands for, and you can actually tell your engineer to go back there and start the thing. I'll show you about that. So if it was really cold out and we didn't want to just wreak havoc on our battery, watch this guy here. We'll fire up that APU and he'll tell it. Hear it? Got that little Briggs and Stratton. And then he'll turn it online and that thing will shoot.
powers coming online.
So you can save your batteries, and that thing just runs off of some fuel, I guess, back there, and does what it's got to do, and no problems. So it's kind of a neat little thing there that you can do, especially if it's really cold or you're just not that good at starting it, and either one or both, you save your batteries and you can run off that APU.
Right away, sir.
But we're gonna actually start off of our batteries today. I'll tell them to shut that thing off. We're gonna do it all on battery and try to get this thing done right. Now it is about 45 degrees right now in Kingman, Arizona. We're running real time, real weather. This is real weather and time out there. So everything is working good there. Okay, so he shut that down. We don't have to listen to that anyway. So the next thing we're gonna do is we check the batteries. We're gonna turn all 3 master batteries. We did that. APU, we're not running it. Hydraulic pressure. Now this is another thing here. That's your manual. You want to build your hydraulic pressure in here. So right over here is your hydraulic pressure. This thing needs to be up at minimum of 200 is what you need to do. Now you can go over on the co-pilot side, right on the side of their seat. You can't see it here. There's actually a handle that you can manually give her some pumps to get her up to 200. But we're doing okay with our battery. Now once you get over 200, see how it keeps shutting off? Once you get that thing over 200, you can let go. And it'll go ahead and keep going until it reaches up to 800 or so PSI. And basically your hydraulics are very important. It controls your braking, your cowl flaps, which we're going to need here in a minute. It'll shut off. We're gonna hear that when we're on the ground every time we're using the brakes. It's gonna be a little bit annoying. Once we get flying, you guys won't hear that much. But your electric, does your avionics, your gear, flaps, bomb bay, hydraulic pump, turbo control. When you go over to your vacuum side of things, your wing, de-icer, and gyro instruments are all controlled by vacuum. So it kind of explains to you right there. And as they said on the A2A video, this thing is like a giant teddy bear. And don't be intimidated by all the buttons and switches. And that's what I found out. It is actually quite a lot of fun. I mean, there's a lot of, it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. But, okay, we got that on right there. All right, hydraulic pressure, open cutoff switches for all engines. So right here, and this is such great detail. Look at the detail that they put into this. So what you do is you flip that open, and this is your fuel cutoffs. You don't have actual valves, they're switches. But you want to turn the fuel on for all 4 engines. Look at the detail in there where the toggle switch has been rubbing on it. We'll flip that little gate down like that to kind of hold those open. And we don't want those to accidentally get bumped in flight, right? Have the fuel get cut off. Carb air cleaner is on. This is very important. Basically what this is taking fuel directly out of your wing. It's actually breathing air from inside the wing, which is warm, dry air, but it's filtered. And when you're on the ground, there's so much information. They say twice in here, once 10,000, they say at 8,000 in the notes. And then if you look on the aircraft, I think it says you're supposed to do 15,000. So long story short, don't turn the filters off till you get up in the air a ways, because you need to filter that air so you're not getting debris and things. But once you get up high enough, you will flip that over and it'll start sucking air in from the outside. You're up high, there's not going to be birds and bugs and everything else, debris that you're going to have to worry about, dirt, and you want that cool air to be sucked right into the engine. So that's why they're having you flip your filters over. When you get all those lights, that means it's all good to go there. You're going to, carb air cleaner's on. Cabin heat off and cold. That's kind of a weird one, but whatever. That's our cabin heat, and then it's off. And we've got master ignition switch is on. Very important, flip that thing on. That's your master ignition switch. And then the intercoolers are going to be set to cold. So what we're going to do is we're going to hop over to this over here. We're going to move all of our intercoolers down. When we're in flight, our co-pilot, we are going to tell him to take care of these. We will not have to worry about the intercooler temperature, basically the cooler for your turbos. We don't have to worry about that. He's going to babysit that. We're going to have him babysit our cowl flaps, and we're also going to have him might have him do the RPM as well, because you can have him do those 3 things. Let's pull our list back up here. There we go. and then we flip over to page 2. So I'm going to actually do one more switch. I'm going to get right in the middle here. This is the best view in the house, sitting right in the middle. Magnetos are going to be going to both. Now because I can't quite, hold on, maybe that fourth one we'll be able to get to. But anyway, you flip your magnetos to both, and then we're going to make sure the turbo, this is your turbo control, that thing is on 0. We want to make sure to crack the throttle, and I'm just going to do them all at the same time here. I find about 15-16% right in there is pretty good. RPMs, we're going to bring those all the way up as well. And the mixture, I'm going to set all those here all to auto rich, which is about right there, because that's where they're all going to need to be here. Alright, so we skipped a couple things there, but set the fire extinguisher. This is not going to affect you starting the engine. It's more of a safety thing, I think, and we were talking about that this morning. This is more or less, you know, if you had a fire on startup. So you want to select your fire extinguisher over there, and then we're going to do the start sequence here, which, oh yeah, and I forgot about the fuel boost. I jumped that one. Yeah, check the fuel pressure to make sure it's between 6 and 8. And we're right up there. Yep, it's right at 8, so we're good there. Open cowl flaps. Flip that one open there. And turbo dial 0, crack throttle. Yep, skipped a couple things there. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and start this baby up. The first thing you're doing is you're basically spooling this thing up. And you give it about 12 seconds, and then that starter, it goes ahead and, you know, really gets a good fast start on the engine. So we're going to go ahead, you'll hear that wind up.
Clear prop.
And I'll go ahead and show you guys what happens. We turned our stuff off. Hopefully it doesn't mess us up here, but you'll see here, see how fast that thing's spinning? Once that runs out, now that's the actual starter spinning. That's the actual starter spinning it. Obviously probably don't let her do that more than 30 seconds. But we'll flip the magneto back on. Here's your primer down here. You want to cycle this over to engine number 3. Give this thing a couple of pumps. I found like 2 to 3. Priming these old engines, it just seems like I've never overdone it. I've underdone it many times. I'll give her 2 right there. Now we'll go ahead and get her spooled up again. And then we'll mesh.
Clear prop.
Give her a few more seconds.
Engine 3 is
Give her
starting
another
up.
prime. I've given it another one because I've had problems where the thing wants
Oil pressure is coming up.
to shut right back off again. Now you want to check that oil pressure. These gauges, there's a lot of them because you got 4 engines here. You've got all your cylinder head temp stuff down here. You've got all your carb air temps down here. Your oil temperature right here. And your oil pressure right here. And this is the number 3 engine. You've got left, right, left, right. So engines 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And we're doing pretty good there. And of course your RPMs. Fuel pressure is good. Over here on the RPMs. Manifold pressure. Where's engine 4? Okay. That's your outside air pressure. Oh, okay, it's dropped. That's different. That threw me off. This is your outside air pressure, so it's actually lower inside. Yeah, because there's a vacuum, I guess. That makes sense. That makes sense. I have to think about that for a minute. That's why I like these old things. They teach you so much about so much science and so much involved. But there's actually a vacuum being created in the carburetor, in the manifold, and that's why the pressure actually dropped on the started engine. But our RPMs are under 1,000, and that's good. And that engine is running. So now what we can do, and we're super zoomed in here, we're going to run over and flip the generator on. And now you can see our battery is charging real good. That's where our 3 batteries were. Now we're charging batteries, and we pretty much, if we had the APU going, now is when we tell the engineer to go ahead and shut that off. Let's go ahead and start engine 2 next. And we'll flip this over to engine 2. I'm going to give her a couple of primes here. Oh. Get zoomed out a little bit, we're looking into the future. Turn number 2's booster on. Give her 1 pump, we'll give her a second one. Mixture is good, RPMs, throttle, everything is good there. Engine 2, flip her to both. We did the fire extinguisher, let's see, boost. Boost is on, okay, we're good here. Let's fire up number 2 here, which is this engine right here.
Clear prop.
I'm gonna go ahead and hit that.
Engine 2 starting.
Give her another one right there. And then when we're over
Oil
here,
pressure is coming up.
flip on the generator, move back over and watch. Check out all of our gauges here. Looking good. Oop, I didn't open this up. Whoopsie daisies. Might as well flip them all open. Go ahead and start up number 1 next. Flip this over to engine 1. Flip this over to 1. I'm gonna give that a prime. If you guys have questions about what we're doing, just save them and I'll get to them. We're gonna let these engines warm up here in a second, and we'll have time to chat for a minute here. We've got the booster already on. Let's go ahead and flip this down to engine 1, which is this farther one out here.
Clear prop.
Uh-oh. I don't think I gave that one enough time. I don't think I gave it enough priming. What did I do? Oh! We might as well just go ahead and flip both of these, because I'm going to clearly forget that again. Oh, always something. I'm not following down through the magneto.
Clear prop.
Repeat the same process for each one.
Engine 1 is starting up.
Engine 1 is going.
Oil pressure is rising.
Oil pressure is good. Flip over to 4. Give that a prime. Alright. We do have magneto on, cowl flaps open, fuel boost is good, fuel pressure good. Flip that down. Watch this last one here.
Clear prop.
Engine 4 is starting up.
Check that oil pressure.
Oil
Coming up
pressure
right
is
there.
coming up.
Flip that to none. Flip that to none. Okay, that one did okay. Now if you wanted to dilute oil in any one of these engines, that's over here. I was doing a little bit of reading up on that. It's kind of interesting how these old things work. We're going to close these windows for a minute. I don't really particularly like the sound. See, that sounds a lot better, but it is going to start fogging up, so we're going to crack a little bit of cockpit ventilation. The way these old engines work is when you hit this, you actually dilute, it puts aviation fuel into your oil. and it thins the oil out to make that starting a little bit easier. You don't want to over dilute, but that's how that works. That's what that means. And then once the engine's running, it burns off or evaporates that fuel that's in the oil. It goes away, and your oil is, you know. I was talking to TechOp about that. He was familiar with that. He said that it's not obviously as used today in the newer stuff because of how much more advanced our oils and things like that are and whatnot. But I thought that was something because I didn't understand what that oil dilution meant and when I was supposed to do it and how. And so I want to do a little bit more research about that as well, so I can kind of figure out what's going on there. And that's what's so cool about these aircraft and why I'm encouraging people to get them, to pick them up. Don't be afraid of them. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's really, it's just neat. It's neat to know, like, all these buttons, like, what do these buttons do? What are these buttons for? What do they do? And how do they work? And they really are right from what I've seen. This thing is a giant teddy bear. It's very forgiving, and it's just, we're gonna have a lot of fun with this aircraft. It is an A2A plane, as stated before, and you do have the hangar. We'll bypass. My airframe has 1 hour and 7 minutes, and I've never flown it. I've just been sitting in it, starting
Sir,
it.
the engines are warmed up.
Taxing it, so the engines are all warmed up. We're ready to do some running up, things like that. But each engine, I mean, 9 cylinders in each one. I mean, how cool is that? Oil filter, oil pumps, everything. You got so many things to maintain in this aircraft. It's weird, my engine 3 has the most hours, and you can see where I had it running, and a few minutes more. Engine 4 is the last one I started, it's the least. You can see exactly, like, engine 3, engine 2, and then I start the 1 and then 4. It's kind of funny. That's what you gotta love about these A2A. So, I guess we'll get back into our captain's seat here. There we go. And turn that off for right now. We're going to tell our co-pilot to take care of the cowl flaps. He'll take care of these now for us. And we're gonna tell him also intercooler. Now I'm going to go ahead and control my RPMs right now, but we can also have him help us with that. And in your C1 autopilot, you can actually have your bombardier go ahead and take care of, you know, hold heading and things. I don't know how the autopilot works on this thing, so when I start doing bigger flights, I'm going to have to learn it. You can also do this Benedict's King, you know, like what we're used to, but I don't know, that would just kind of, I don't know, kind of be weird. You know, FS autopilot. I think it'd probably be better if we learned how to use this one. So we'll have to dig into that. And we're going to put our headphones on. I don't really know the difference. Turn the radios on. Radio switch, by the way, is up here. And you have your map. Emergency brake. You want to pull on those for your braking. Hopefully we don't have to do that. Our magneto compass. Rather, what are you looking at here? 303 and 303. We'll get that sorted out. And you know what? I should get my altimeter stuff too. Weather request. Current active weather. Winds are 220 at 15 knots. And 29076 is what we're going to be looking at today. So let's go ahead and get 29076 punched in. Yep, 3,000, a little over 2,400, so we're good to go there. Winds are at 220 at 15 knot, and that's gonna mean that I'm gonna want to be flying out on I'm forgetting my runway numbers. Runway over there. I cannot remember that damn runway number, and I'm not going to be pulling up the ATC today, right now anyway. Would not be smart enough to start this plane. You literally get in here, as long as you can read, and I'm being a smart ass, but as long as you can read, A2A makes it so good for you. They give you a checklist. That's why I love their product so much. They just make it so realistic, and they make it possible for the average Joe to come in and learn these historic aircraft and be able to fly them. How do you know which switch does which? Well, you learn it by by reading, and every aircraft has, like, when you see a magneto switch, you know what that does. RPM, mixture, throttle, you know what those do. You know what flaps and gear and fuel boost, the fuel pump, the fuel valve. You've got battery switches, and holy crap, we almost forgot a generator. Not that three of them are not good enough, but we got to check things like that. Oh! I forgot to put my beacon on. I always do that. I'm so terrible when it comes to lights. Let's go ahead and throw on nav light. There we got our landing lights. Oh, and there's other things that are really neat you can do in here. Voltmeter, you can check to see how many volts each of your engines is putting out. That one's putting out a little bit more. Every engine's different. I mean, just really cool things like that. Alright. Okay, I wanted to show you guys one thing with the turbos. If you have a brand new engine, brand new turbo rather, or you've done a complete overhaul, you've got to synchronize your turbo. Make sure the parking brakes are on. I don't know if Mike did this or not, but this is important. And I've got mine close, but I haven't. I'm going to have to get it in. You're not supposed to do this in the air, but it would be a lot easier because on the ground the thing shakes to beat hell. And to do this, I'm going to jump over to the co-pilot's seat. And what we're going to do is we're going to flip this turbo up to 8. Alright, then we're going to go ahead and throttle up. Very important to make sure your brakes are on. RPMs are all the way up. And these are your manifold pressure. You want to watch those. You got to be very quick doing this, but right here in these little ports, this is how you adjust it. You want to get all those needles right the same. See, mine are pretty good. This one's on 20. Let's say, I think it's on 0 by default. And you'll actually see it, maybe. Oh, they're pretty much staying still. I've already got it set. I've been working on this. But those needles will be off, and you want to get those synchronized. And you only got to do it once. We'll check it when we're in the air as well. We'll be able to see. But our engines are definitely warm now. Okay, let's get into our seat and start to taxi out there. Howdy ho, gentlemen. Did we lose Brexit Boy? Brexit Boy is going to be our escort today. Alright.
You said so anyway.
That was just showing, I don't know if you synced your turbos or not, I just showed that in the...
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Mine were off, as they're supposed to be, but I've got them pretty close now. I tried to make one of them go off, be off again, but it didn't want to move, so... you only got a couple minutes to do that, and then your engines start to get really hot, so you gotta be fast. You're not supposed to do it in the air, but it'd be easier to do it in the air, because in the airplane wouldn't sit there and buck and shake. So that whining that you guys are hearing are because I'm tapping the brake and our hydraulic pressure. That's our hydraulic pump. So where are we going? I'm just doing touch and goes for a little while. Lots of takeoffs and landings, you know, the exciting stuff. And then I'm going to be doing a flight, a little bit of flight somewhere, a little bit, you know, go venture a little bit of ways and then figure out something. I've never flown this thing. I've been through the startup sequence and shutdown. Well, that was my 4th time right there. I've done it 3 times prior, 2 or 3 times. Yesterday was the first day I taxied this thing, last night. Only my 2nd time even rolling the wheels on it. Today will be the first flight. I'm not doing a good job being center line here. That's a beautiful bird. So takeoff, actually, did I skip? Oh, okay. Flaps are gonna be up. Aren't the landing flaps? Okay, they're neutral right now. See if they go down. There's our flaps. This one's different because they're, you actually hold it and then they go down. Or you toggle the switch and then yeah, it goes up. I'm just double checking all that.
Flaps up.
We'll flip that switch back into the neutral position. But yeah, landing gear. Okay, so flaps are up. Cowl flaps are 1/3. That's on the co-pilot there. It looks like he's got them. It's his job. We'll fire him otherwise. Tail wheel lock. Lock tail wheel. I gotta do that. I'm gonna have to get out around the corner here. See, don't talk about running the engine up here. I'm gonna. I don't know, I guess you don't really check your... You're supposed to check your magnetos. Run her up to 2,000. It's hard, you can't really hear when you have so many engines, but I don't really have anything that was standing out to me there. Alright. Set turbo to 8.7 if you're using 91 octane. So we're right up to 8. We got her up basically all the way. Open throttles slowly to full. Okay, folks, here we go. Get our track IR on. Whoa! What the frick? What the frick? No! What the frick? No! What the frick happened? My throttle was back!
Where did you go?
I just crashed! I wonder if I was getting some wash off of somebody's aircraft or something. My plane just blew over like there was some force frickin' blowing it. My throttle was at 20%. And I wasn't on the brakes. I had no feet on the brakes. I had my throttle down and the plane just flipped over right in the middle of the runway. It's been a long road, but I think it'll be rewarding. Looks like I'm pretty centered here. Let's see how bad my... Hold on. There, let's get that view. Really gotta be zoomed out here with this thing. Oh, not too bad. Alright. I'll get better at that as time goes. We're gonna lock that tail wheel. Controls are good. As the more we do, the faster we get. It's just, you know, my first time here. It's taking a little bit of extra time here. All right, set turbo 8. We did that. Tail wheel oil temps are good. We checked them. Everything is looking great. Whoops. Oh, dang it. I'm gonna lock my view in there. All right. Clear our ground, raise landing gear, accelerate climb speed of 135 to 150. We're gonna go ahead and drop that down. Oh, one more thing real quick here. Let's look. Reduce manifold pressure with turbo dial. Down to, I don't know what. Reduce, I think down to 5 or something like that. We'll look. When you get up here, they have you, yeah, 4 to 6. And adjust cowl flaps, he's doing that. Adjust trim as required, we'll take care of that. And carb air cleaner is off over 8,000. Another place in here they say 10, and on the side of the aircraft it says 15. So somewhere up there we'll turn it off. I'll be doing a lot of takeoff and landing, so I'll probably be leaving that on. Alright, here we go. Oh! Holy buckets. I'm nervous. Strobe light is on, I almost forgot that. Those are windows. Whoa, Dick. Tail is off.
120.
Oh, I'm
130. 150.
I'm terrible at that. Going all over the runway. I should have not messed with my window, but... Boy, this thing is windy inside. Either that or I'm about to crash. Gear is up. I hope. Nope. Why is my gear not going up? Ah. That's on a sink.
The engines are getting a bit warm.
What the frick is my gear not going up? Landing gear is in the up position.
The tail wheel is up.
Alright, they went up there.
Both main wheels are up.
I don't know. Wow. Jesus, this thing is noisy. Woo! Oh my god. What an old beast. Oh my god. That is awesome. 65 or 5,500 feet already. Oh, I am more nervous, I think. Well, I was pretty nervous in the P-51. Tell this guy here to...
Yes, Captain, they're all mine.
We'll tell him to take care of our RPM. I want to notice what he's doing here. He's got him to about 82%. Dropped our manifold pressure down. Our tach. Okay, he's got everything down. I think I was up about 27. Start cranking. It's an uncomfortable plane all around, yeah. She is noisy. Mike, is this thing really that noisy all the time?
Yes.
I just had to... I was expecting it, but at the same time, you know, I was like, holy buckets. I know she's no Dreamliner. Wow. Headphones for the win. They don't do much on the ground, but boy, oh boy, they cut that wind noise down. I had them on, but then we had the crash restart incident and took them off. Perfect. Well, that makes me happy. Now I'm really happy. climb to 6. Every time I come in, I'm just so freaking high up.
Both main wheels are confirmed down.
Coming in fast again.
$150. $140. $130.
Just a little bit terrifying.
Flaps are confirmed down. 130.
I got too much flaps right now, but
120. 110.
I'm too low. I went from being too high and too fast to too low and too slow.
We're stalling.
I don't want to do that.
Nice recovery, Captain.
Nice recovery, he says.
That was smooth, Captain.
Slowly on those brakes. Nice, didn't even feel it.
Mine was kind of rough.
Hard to do. My hands are sweaty. Oh, beautiful, beautiful! That was so nice. That was so nice. Oh my god, that was a lot of fun. I still like landing the P-51 more. I like flying the P-51 more. This thing is really a unique experience. Oh, catch the breath, catch the breath. Not too bad. Stayed on the center line. Nice job. Thank you so much. That was a smooth one. We just didn't even feel it. We just didn't even hear the chirp. It just touched down. Alright, I should have taxied off back there. We're going to take off again, and I should have did a touch and go, but I wanted to practice the whole shebangers. Get a nice view there of the aircraft. Oh. That's a view right there. That's a picture. That's a picture view. Very beautiful. Alright. So, these doors yell at the guys to go open
Opening
them.
the bomb bay.
Oh, we're unofficially sponsored by Sundrop, as always. I know, we're gonna go have to bomb strike Eagle. Where is that guy? I haven't seen him in a while. We missed him a long time. So there's the bomb bay doors, and then we actually, up on the co-pilot seat. Boy, that is a beautiful view. Take a picture of that too. Love having some pictures. Open throttle slowly in advance. Okay. I want to hit the rotate. He'll tell me like rotate, and I didn't. I had to get off the ground because
We're idling a bit low.
I know. Calm yourself. Okay, here we go. Wow. Let that tail come off the ground. I am trimmed.
Rotate. 120. 130.
135 to 150.
140. 150.
Get a little more aggressive with it.
150.
Climbing at 2,000
140.
per minute. Starting to feel a little bit more comfortable in it. That first time you go up in it, and I'll never forget. Watch my speed here. Definitely takes a lot more preparation, that is for sure.
Oh, this thing flies like garbage when your gear is down, doesn't it?
Yep.
150.
Let me tell you, it's even worse when only one of them is down.
Trying to watch my speed here.
Flaps are confirmed down, Captain. 130.
Well, when you get the flaps down in this thing, she really
120.
slows down and just smooths out. Becomes very manageable.
Yeah.
110.
Got her back. Tail wheels down. Get on the brakes. Haven't touched the brakes yet at all. Okay, now I'm just getting on the brakes a little bit. Very nice. Be able to exit midfield.
You know what altitude we're gonna go to?
I'm gonna go right up to 35. I don't know how long I'll stay there, but I'm kind of gonna get her up. Probably about the time we get there, we'll have to start coming back down again. Which, if I have to circle that place once or twice, I'm not too worried. I just wanna. It's kind of like having a little VFR flight over there, you know, or just learning the aircraft.
Oh, I was just getting some stuff set up here. Do you know what heading we're gonna go on?
50.
223. What I got.
80. 90. 100.
Tail came off by itself.
110. And rotate.
Lift her off. That was beautiful. Much better. Much better.
130.
When we get up above 18,000 feet, we would go to flight levels and our altimeter would be set to 299 or 2. I should have checked. Big mistake, but we're kind of doing things a little informal today. I'm just going to go ahead and put her there now. We're not up to 18,000, but I haven't checked my altimeter for an hour. We had some clouds move in here. Get that landing gear up. You never know if she's going up.
The engines are getting a bit warm.
I'll peel back a little bit, but
The tail wheel is up. Main wheels are up.
got off the ground, so I'm going to dial back to 6 here so we're not beating the snot out of the engines here. If we can. But we're dropping our airspeed big time. Let's try and give him tell him to hold the heading. Trim up to 1,000 feet per minute. 1,200. 221 is where we're at right now. 223.
You okay, Captain?
Headline news. Heavy German bombers directed a large-scale attack against Boston. The new German blitz attacks are more nerve-wracking than the bombardments of 1940 and 1941, writes Newsweek. Field Marshal Rommel is again on the French west coast on a tour of inspection. But Steer states that the man in the street doubts the results of the British and American air raid. Field Marshal Ironside indicated that in the event of an invasion, Germany would be in a position to deal out heavy counter-blows. The annual conference of the British Labour Party has been postponed owing to the traffic situation. The Soviet General Zhurov points out that Germany could never be conquered by means of bombing raids. It was stated before the Canadian Parliament that no bridgehead could be created on the coast of the European fortress.
I heard him say something about the Canadians. We need to go bomb them. I knew it. I knew South Park was right.
Against the German army. General Martin declared that the Allied air forces could not eliminate the German supply route. Only local fighting took place on the lower Dniester and in the Carpathian foothills. The Moscow Patriarch Sergius, who was appointed by Stalin, has died a natural death. The Metropolitan of Vilna in Lithuania, Sergius, was murdered by Bolsheviks a fortnight ago. After embittered fighting south of Cassino, a few height positions were lost to the enemy. Strong German bomber formations carried out effective attacks in the Italian battle area.
Captain, it's recommended that we turn our air filters off above 8,000 feet to avoid working our turbos.
The Swiss president stated that
Here we go.
Switzerland will energetically defend her
You
vital
reminded
rights
me,
to
we hit
national
10,000.
existence. The London
Turn your air
announcement
filters
that they
off,
would not be
Mike.
taxed additionally has led to general increases in prices.
Not have that on. So this is how we're learning about the authentic C1 autopilot. We lost our radio.
Looks like we're getting out of range.
Dang it! Lost it. Is that Brexit boy on the radio? Pilot direction indicator. Yeah, I'll have to do some researching on that. Here's your breather. How much oxygen? This thing should be able to carry a lot of oxygen. Co-pilot's oxygen. This guy, I'd like to turn it off. How do I turn this guy's oxygen off? Freaking push him out, leaving the flaps down, man. Come on. Look at how he's controlling these. This is why I don't want to deal with this. Look at all the different, you know, holy buckets. It's got our RPMs out to about 80%. There's a lot going on as we climb. We're up to 20,000 feet. Hitting some turbulence. What are you climbing to, Mike? 13,000, okay. Yeah, get your oxygen on now.
No, it's on. I'm at 14.5.
I just turned my co-pilot's oxygen off. They just flipped that over there. And, yeah. Guy's gonna be. I'm so angry at him. You stupid normal auto mix. Is there any lever here that I can hook it right up to directly to the exhaust? Give the guy some carbon monoxide. I don't know if I messed that up, but if the guy goes cold on me, we'll know why. Well, Plan G. What? Shut up, Plan G. We're not already there. If we're already there, we're flying out to Honolulu today because I'm not ready to come down yet. Outside. You look at that. He's slumped over in the sea. Alright. Look at all these little people looking out their window. Evan said it's very nipply out today, folks. That girl on the side of the plane there. I wish we had a thermostat. Here, we'll tell him to get into the gun turrets.
Yes, sir.
Man, the powder pits! Or the turrets. Look at this guy. That would be one hell of a view. Sitting in a glass ball hanging out the bottom, you definitely wouldn't have a fear of heights. Very bad story when the early B-17s were out, and I have to go back and check all the facts, but in a nutshell, when the early B-17s came out, there was no way to manually turn these, and there was a case or a few cases where they went over to Germany, got the flak, knocked out the hydraulics, and the ball was spun because you had to spin it a certain way, crawl in it, and then you could rotate. Well, it was in the middle of rotating, and they couldn't spin it, and they couldn't put gear, all that. They had landing gear problems, and there's at least one story that I read about where they had to land the plane, and the guy on the bottom got crushed, got smeared on the bottom. And so then they had to make, where they could manually crank that thing and get the guy out of there. But can you imagine that flight, just knowing, like, I'm stuck. I'm screwed and I'm stuck. That is a beautiful... Oh, man. What is really going on right now? Look at the friggin'... Oh my god, those are chemtrails! Mike, it's true. These things leave chemtrails. The government. It's the government, Mike. Wow, up to 25,000. This is where they would cruise at, 25,000. We still got 10,000 more I would like to do. And we're humping right along here. Man, radio back then was so bad. Why doesn't this thing have like satellite radio? XM? We would never lose our channels. What a blast to fly this thing though.
Captain, we should watch our speed.
Shut up. I'll punch this guy. Alright, oxygen off. Actually, don't know how to do that other than in here. Sorry about that, folks. And our filters are going to be back on. How you doing there, Mike?
You know, Captain, my father always told me never to fly in clouds. You never know who left a brick up there for
I
you.
just got to learn how to work my oxygen, that's all.
Oh, turn it on shift 2 or shift 3. Shift 3.
Oh, that's not all there is to it, because somehow I'm not getting oxygen.
Did you actually fill it with oxygen?
Yeah.
Wow, I did a doozy there, boys and girls. I see the airport. It's a lot closer than I want it to be. I love the farmland that you get in this valley.
Captain, it's getting kind of hot.
What?
Getting hot, it's getting cold. It's hot, it's cold. I'm cold and I'm hot. Shut up. This is actually an airport that we're landing in that Orbix does, and I was very tempted to get a base here and buy that airport, but it was a little bit close to LA. Actually, LA is like up over the mountain and then, you know, that way. It's kind of a mountain that separates them.
What's the airport called?
KPSP, Palm Springs International. I goofed and got a little bit closer than I want. I don't want to have to force myself on such a dickered landing, so make sure you turn your filter back on. Auto rich. I want to have a nice, you know, a nice landing here.
I'm not even seeing the airport yet.
I flew until I got where I was too close to it. Too close. Damn near gonna fly over it. Turbo up to 8. Gear is going to be lowered after we get under 175. And flaps will put down at 147.
Okay, say that code again and do it phonetically.
Kilo, Papa, Sierra, Papa.
Okay. I thought you were saying B, as in Bravo.
KPSP Palm Springs.
Yep, I got it. I see it now.
I want to buy the airport out here in Orbix. I love this valley. It's so freaking awesome. I have to open a base. Got a Better get that daggone landing gear down, boys.
Tail wheel down. Main wheels are down. $150. $140.
Sorry about that, folks. We get that track IR on sometimes.
$130.
Wheels are down, we got 3 greens. Go in for a nice
140.
landing. Look at that valley, those farmhouses and the palm trees. It's beautiful. Man. Remember, the windows are kind of naturally kind of fogged up in here a little bit.
Flaps down. 130. $120.
God, this is just magical. I love it. Oh, the cheers are in the cup. I can't look. Classy, classy. A2A. What's happening? Whoop, get my focus off.
110.
Can't get my focus off here. Come on, old girl. Why are you bucking like that? Bucking like a bronco. Nice and gentle.
$100.
There we go. Didn't get center line, but pretty close. Alright, now we'll get on the brakes. Beautiful, beautiful. Brakes, brakes, reach down. There we go. Didn't mean to stop. Dang it. Did not mean to stop. It's really hard to get that. I'm gonna have to set a button. Normally you can have the co-pilot, like, you know, do that, but... Okay, we'll pause that like that. Might even not even be at the right friggin' airport here, for all I know. Beautiful runway. I think KSP is a little bit farther up, actually. But I set her down here for tonight. My dinner's ready. So, Mike, are you using GPS or something? Just don't quote me on that. I saw this airport and I wanted to.
No, if you do your shift 5, I'm using that right there.
Oh, okay. I think Palm Springs is. I'm gonna look here. I think it's farther up still, but let's see where this is. Whoop, whoop! Not so fast, not so fast. Okay, we're at K. God dang it! I'm trying to do too much here. KTRM. Not that it matters. One hell of a nice long runway, though. Yeah, because I recognize when I come in, Palm Springs is a little bit closer to the side of the mountain. It's up a little bit more, but can land there or you can land here. I landed here. I like this one. This was nice.
Which one did you land at?
I'm at KTRM.
Okay.
I know I should know this, but boy, one hell of a long runway there. Pretty good. Didn't use about a quarter of it. Slow this thing down. Desert Resorts. Where I touched down at. I'm gonna have to look up this airport. I like this. I really like this. Might get a base out here, and then I can run stuff back and forth from Kingman. Even in the Comanche, this would be a lot of fun. Come on. See my... Wonder why it's not... Wouldn't do it on the outside one there. I want to get a glimpse of this warbird that's flying around. I want to get as many people on here in A2A warbirds as I can. That's my goal. I love this airport. I'm gonna have to check this one out a little bit, see if it's got commodities. Just a nice little right in the middle of a flat valley, and just gonna park right there. It's the end of my flight for today. And even go to my intended airport. It's a little bit right up there, but this one was really in a nice place. And we'll lean. Oh, I've got that lock on. Like that. This one doesn't have the amazing sounds that the other one has, but we had that thing running. We did all those touch and goes. We did all the. We flew over here. Our fuel. I mean, started to, dip into some of these into the smaller tanks, but the big ones were about half. I mean, pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, I'd say we were probably about halfway. Yeah, about halfway through our fuel today. All the stuff that we did, it was good. That was so our heating fluid, our heating systems, that stuff's a little bit low. Our oxygen, we'd have to fill that. All these things have to be taken care of. Every time you fly, you want to check all your fluids and everything. When we come back in, this aircraft to be exactly like we leave it. So we'll definitely agree with what A2A said. They said it's a giant teddy bear, and boy, that thing was really very kind to us today. The thing was so kind to us today. I cannot complain. So we're gonna pretty much wrap it up right there with it sitting there on the runway, looking all beautiful and whatnot. And I just want to give big thank you out to a couple people like Rye Guy for the $3 in the tip jar. We also had ASIM 25 cheers. All of a sudden, bad weather was the message, by the way. He's raining in there. We had a rain down of cheers. We're going to be back for another stream. It's 5:30. I'm going to be back in an hour and a half. So I'm going to go catch dinner and take a little break. And then regular stream starts 7 o'clock or a few minutes after. So I don't know what we'll be doing. Might be back in to do P-51 flying tonight because I wanted to do some practicing in that thing. So I don't know. Really don't know what we're going to do tonight. You guys can keep me here all day yakking and talking. It's time to get the heck out of here. And we'll see you all back here shortly. We'll get all those links up for you in the chat. Thank you all. Love you, long time, see you very soon again.